Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as IvyWinter. Thank you for joining me for another Disney video. I'm happy to do another request. This time this topic comes from Fun Disney Fan who wanted to know what restaurants I didn't recommend going to in Disney World. And this is a toughie because honestly this is completely subjective. What I find to be good food someone else might not, and vice versa. So by no means am I saying this is, you know, cut and dry 100% a list of restaurants you should never go to. There's gonna be one or two on here that someone watching this is gonna be like, how dare you? You have just insulted me and my family. But coming from my own experiences, I do have some things to recommend for you Fun Disney Fan, or to not recommend for you rather. So I'm gonna go through every single park and just touch on a few that I think are not worth it. And fortunately, my list isn't huge. It isn't a huge list of like these restaurants are just bad or terrible. Most food in Disney is good and a lot of it is great, and I think that there are a few things that aren't so great or aren't so consistent, but fortunately you know, for the most part you'll do alright. But let's start with Magic Kingdom. I do feel that Magic Kingdom has the hardest time with food. I don't think a lot of their quick services are all that interesting. I think that their sit-downs could also be a lot better. And when it comes to recommendations, well, sometimes I'd rather recommend you go to a monorail resort and eat fare rather than staying in Magic Kingdom. That said, it's more that I think a lot of their quick service is a little boring. They kind of all have very similar menus. Sit down is, I think, where you get a little bit more trouble. So I have a couple there that I don't think are worth going to at all if you are looking at all of them and have to choose. The first is Diamond Horseshoe. I've eaten there a couple of times. Granted, it's been a couple of years since the last time I did, but it's just not great. It just never ends up being very satisfying. It seems to like be this weird, like it doesn't really know what it's trying to be. Service has always been just okay. I think if you're going to be in that area, you're better off going to Liberty Tree Tavern. I think that's a better alternative. Diamond Horseshoe is just alright, and I don't think it's worth going out of your way to go to. I think you have better options in the area. Another sit-down restaurant in Magic Kingdom I think is not so great is Tony's Town Square. It is actually right when you walk into the park. A lot of people don't even notice that it's there because it's like you walk in and then you have to go right towards where you meet Mickey Mouse, and that's where it is. It's an Italian restaurant. It's cute. It has some homages to Lady and the Tramp outside and inside the restaurant, but the food itself is not great. Now, I'm spoiled. I come from New York. We have a great Italian community here that makes great Italian food. That aside, I am fine with having, like, you know, just pretty decent Italian food somewhere that might not be super authentic, but I don't even think this reaches that bar. I think it is just meh. Everything I've had there has been uninspired, not really interesting. The tomato sauce kind of tastes like it comes from a can. I apologize for anyone who likes this restaurant. I just think that it really is kind of low in the bar of sit-down restaurants. I would say go anywhere else. I just don't think it's really good in terms of Italian. You're gonna get better Italian in Epcot for sure than, you know, Tony's Town Square in Magic Kingdom. And then as far as quick service goes, like I said, they're all kind of like similar, but the one that I think is probably the worst is Pinocchio Village House, which is in Fantasyland, and it's right next to It's a Small World. The only like plus about that place is that they have these cute little signs at the tables that overlook Small World, the ones that say like, you know, clap or like whatever to the people in the boat, and like maybe if you have kids that's fun. But considering that signs that you show to people in Small World is the best part about that place, the food is just not great. It's kind of bland and tasteless and not really awesome. And it's also always very busy because it's Fantasyland, so you're gonna get a lot of families in there. It's not ideal, so I would say go to almost any other quick service except for Pinocchio Village House. Okay, moving on to Animal Kingdom. My first one, sit-down Pizzafari. I don't think pizza in Disney World is good. I think that most of it is pretty meh, so Pizzafari is like not top of my list. I think there are so many other places you could go to that are better. I would say go to Yak and Yeti. I would say if you have the money, go to Tiffin's. Tusker House is really great. Pizzafari? No, I would say skip that one. Same is gonna go for Restaurantosaurus, which I believe is a quick service. Like, Animal Kingdom has the best quick service in all of the parks. It's called Satuli Canteen, and it is in Pandora and you should be eating there. Like, that is the best quick service. But even if you want something that isn't that, I would say Restaurantosaurus is not your place to go. I think Flamin' Tree Barbecue is better. I think there are just better little like quick service and carts. There's all those cool mac and cheese carts. I think those are better. Restaurantosaurus, as cute of a name as it is not super great. And then, of course, I had to add T-Rex to this. It's kind of in a weird spot where it's like semi-outside of the park, inside the park. It's kind of weird because it's just a chain restaurant and it's not all that interesting. And I'm not a person who really recommends chains when you go to Disney World. I think you might as well go to their original restaurants over something like that. In Epcot, so big world of food over in Epcot, and of course not all of it is going to be amazing. I think one that most people agree is pretty bad is Nine Dragons in China. It's just not good. My takeout is better than that place. I've unfortunately heard not so great stories of people not feeling very well after Nine Dragons, so I would not recommend going there. It is really not good Chinese. I think you can get better Chinese just going down the highway somewhere else. I know that sounds terrible, but I think it's just consistently been not a great restaurant there. Also, Electric Umbrella. What are you doing if you're going to Electric Umbrella? Because all you're eating are chicken nuggets and burgers. And while I get it, chicken nuggets, burgers, great stuff. You are literally in Epcot where there is food for everything, from every different country and for every different style. Don't do it. There's just, I mean, be a little adventurous. If you don't want to go so adventurous, I would say go to the Rose and Crown pub. That's pretty typical English fare and is still better than going to Electric Umbrella. Don't do it. And lastly, I'm going to say Restaurant Marrakesh. As someone who absolutely loves Moroccan food, I found it just okay. I don't think it was very flavorful. I think the meal was just alright. There is a belly dancer and some music, so that's cool. I think if you're gonna choose one of the restaurants in Morocco, go to Spice Road's table. Restaurant Marrakesh is just not really that exciting, and I think you could pass on it. Hollywood Studios, the last of the parks. Pizza Rizzo is also not great. Going back to I don't think pizza in Disney World is very great. They've also started opening it now seasonally. There are rumors it's going to close, so it might not even be there anymore by the next time that you are there. So that's all I gotta say about that. I don't think that it's worth it. And clearly Disney doesn't either. Hollywood and Vine, this is actually not coming from me. I have not eaten at Hollywood and Vine. It is a character buffet, but I've heard over a number of years that it's universally hated. Apparently the food is just not that great, and so you're paying more for the character interaction than you are for the food, and this has been something I've consistently heard from everything from blogs to forums to actual anecdotal stories from people that I know who have been there. So I'm throwing it on my list, even though I haven't eaten there, as a warning because I've heard enough about it that it makes me not want to eat there. So I would say not go to Hollywood and Vine. And then, I know Rob's gonna be mad at me for this one, but Sci-Fi Dine-In? Look, it's really cool inside there and their shakes are great. I don't think their actual food is super great. It's fine, it's burgers and fries and all that, but like, it's been hit or miss for me. Sometimes I've gone and it's been better than others. It's just alright. But like I said, if you want the atmosphere of the dine-in, like I get why people want to go in and see it, and I think to see the whole restaurant is really, really cool. I would suggest just going for a dessert and get a shake and go. I don't think that the food is super great. However, I've been trying to get a reservation for my next trip because that's where people want to go, and like I said, it's not bad enough for me to be like, oh no, I am not eating there. But I just think that there are better options in the park, so that's just me. But again, it's really, really cool inside, so I think it's worth eating in there at least once. But again, I'm bringing up Rainforest Cafe and T-Rex because chains, they both kind of have very similar food, so not going to be a different really experience from each other except for your atmosphere. I don't think it's worth it when Disney Springs has so many other good restaurants. And also, Paradiso 37 was a restaurant that I ate at that I thought was just okay. I remember going with my husband and it was fine. The drinks were really good. The food was just fine. And again, when I think you're in a place with so many restaurants, like to the point that I feel like Disney Springs is now the it place to go for food in Disney World, it wasn't my favorite. I think you've got better options in things like Morimoto's or Homecoming or the Edison, things like that. So those are my thoughts on where not to eat in Disney World. I don't don't like to do like super negative videos or anything, but to be honest, like, you know, Disney World isn't perfect, so it's good to talk about these kinds of things. I would like to know in the comments below, do you agree with me? Are there things that I mentioned that you were just like, oh my god, I can't believe you said this? Then you can let me know in the comments below. If you have other restaurants that I didn't mention that you had poor experiences at or didn't think were especially great, also let me know. If you like this video, then like it. If you like me, you should subscribe because I make videos every single week, and I'm really enjoying the questions and the topic ideas from people, because a part of the reason I made this channel was to help people plan and to give people information. And when you are direct with me about what you want to hear, it is just so cool to make these videos for you guys. So thank you, Fun Disney fan, for this question. As always, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.